Hey Sages, and welcome to your July 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky, and I'm here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. You guys have to keep things very simple and very one-faced during this period of time. This is a period of time where if things are very duplicitous or have a huge spectrum of potential interpretation, you cannot be in that territory right now. Lots of changes happening for you, as I believe like the whole entire Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn side of the zodiac is going through this really big change. And it is actually all about you, Sagittarius, because Saturn is in your sign and something is being formed within you that you still don't understand its direction. You still don't understand the direction of what is being formed in you and how you're going to manifest that energy within you. Most Sages that I know, as I also have a lot of Sagittarius myself, so I'm kind of speaking as a Sag too, have so many different options right now. It's a very different energy than Saturn and Scorpio because you aren't feeling very limited, actually. You're feeling limited by all the possibilities, really. It's not that you can't achieve the goal. It's not that you can't have the family or the relationship or the experience, but it's about all the different ways that you could use to get there. And you fear that if you don't choose the right path, that you will end up not creating something that is wholesome and not creating something that will actually last. So it seems to me what is happening to Sagittarius is you're kind of being stagnant and you're choosing to stay where you are and not go down any road because you would rather have this sort of normalcy or this like deluge, because all of a sudden it starts raining really hard where I'm at, you guys. There's this hurricane happening or about to happen, and all of a sudden the rain just sort of came down. So I'm like, you guys feel like you're being sort of drowned by this energy, and it's not a water sign. There's not much water at play, but it's interesting to see with all this fire energy with Uranus and Aries, Saturn and Sagittarius, and the Sun going to be in Leo, creating that sort of grand fire trine, how you kind of feel burnt out, yes, but in a way kind of drowned by that. A very interesting thing for you guys, but it's actually a lot better than you think it is. And a lot of people can see this and tell you this, that you seem to be in better shape than most people, or that you're making more money than most people, or that you look better than most people. It's very easy for people to think you're quite successful right now. It's very easy for people to actually kind of put you on a high horse when that's not where you want to be. In fact, you're probably experiencing a lot of people that say, oh, you just don't know what it's like because you have it so easy, or you don't know what it's like to be as poor as me because you make this much money, or you don't know what it's like to have your heart broken in this way because you have a healthy relationship. And a lot of people are taking away your experience because they think that they have an idea of where you're at. And since you're kind of staying where you're at and you're really resuming normalcy right now, it gives sort of this false image of security when actually you're struggling with quite an insecure time. So I feel for that reason, it's good to not really be around people that you've known for a very long time. If you are around people that you've known for a really long time, it kind of has to be very casual relationships that are maybe just humorous and not really emotional or deep. Because people that you've known for a very long time in which you have deep relationships with will not serve you very well right now, because they will have the wrong image of you. They'll have the wrong idea of what your purpose is right now, and they will kind of use your energy to make themselves feel worse. As we've talked about on my channel, Saturn being in your sign makes you a catalyst for other people's pain and makes other people want to use this sort of new structured energy that you have, which is very foreign to you, to kind of structure their own issues in that. And they like to compare themselves to you. It's like you're kind of an object of comparison right now, and you are in the depth of it. July is the depth of the Saturn retrograde. And you know, in August, it will start moving. You'll have another kind of depth of it in the beginning and mid-August, but August 24th, I believe, is the day that Saturn goes goes direct. So you will finally have a bit of exhale and pressure off, but it won't be till about the end of 2017 until this energy is finally completely gone. There's a lot that you can accomplish with this energy right now, Sag, especially having Uranus in Aries and the Sun moving into Leo. July 21st to August 21st can be a period of extreme success and extreme achievement for you, but it can't be about that. It has to be about creating something that you've always wanted to create, not about achieving success for the sake of success. It kind of has to be something you've been working on for a long time. It's not the best time for windfall or the best time for winning something in that sort of underdog way when you've not put in the time. Although it's quite contradictory, because that's kind of what Uranus can be about, and it is in Aries, and it's trining Saturn, so you can find yourself in a lot of strange circumstances. But I don't feel for the majority of you that you're extremely successful with something completely new, or that you do on kind of a hunch. Although those of you who've had long-running projects that you've been putting measured, consistent work into, you will have a very big payout and potentially an extreme explosion of popularity or money or new experience with this endeavor that you have going. I feel that in a lot of your situations, Sag, you're not really knowing whether to analyze things from your emotional center or your logical center. With like relationships that have ended or relationships that may be forming, it's like you're trying to dissect things and you're trying to understand things in ways that you never have before. You've got that King of Swords and the Page of Cups, so you can't decide whether you need to like look at the past and look at things that have happened in a way that you're just like, you know, analyzing it and not using your emotional center as the King of Swords would do, and maybe creating some kind of dialogue or notes that are very logical and don't really take into account the emotional environment? Or are you going to just completely use this new empathetic nature that's forming within you to put yourself in other people's shoes? You're kind of required to create this new balance of empathy and logic relating to difficult experiences of the past, related to difficult experiences in general, because we have the Neptune in Pisces thing going on right now, which is creating that weird 90-degree angle to some of you, and you've had a complete emotional evolution through that, and you have an emotional understanding of people that is different because you're a Sagittarius, so you have like that philosophical part of yourself. You're a fire sign, so in that way you're not really prone to soaking up other people's emotions, obviously depending on what else you have functioning in your chart. But Sagittarius in itself is not so much about that. You have a higher, more philosophical understanding of emotions, but it seems that a new level of that is developing. Something more low, something lower down in you. Something that is evocative to me of the way that Scorpio understands emotions, or the way that Cancer or Pisces would understand those emotions. So that's an interesting thing for you to be developing right now. You know, you're kind of in a balancing act as well in July. I see a lot of you are trying to like balance the career and the new project, or the relationship and the career. It's like there are two prevalent things in your life that can't quite be done the way that you want them to be done without conflicting with one another. You know, you might kind of find yourself between the proverbial rock and a hard place during July, as Saturn does represent that archetype. And I feel like the best way to react to this, Sag, is to, you know, step back and stop being the object of comparison. Whether other people are making you the object of comparison or whether you're doing that to yourself, you've really got to allow the new experience to create something very distinct, and then you can do a little bit more comparison way later down the line, you know what I mean? Because now isn't the best time for it. You know, you can't compare your relationship to other people's, or compare your job or your worth or whatever it is to other people's, because you don't have knowledge of how it actually is. There's an overarching theme of like other people not being very honest with you, or your idea that you have of other people not being the reality of the situation. And that's because you're so drawn to understand yourself, to understand what's happening within you. And, you know, if you don't have that yet, there can be a tendency to think, wow, this person has that, or this person has accomplished this. That makes them happy. And you've come to understand that that's not the case, but it's still kind of in the back of your head. And I feel like, I mean, everybody knows that, you know, people's expression to the world is not necessarily evocative of how they actually feel, but there's still something in your head thinking, you know, even if that's the case, they still have that, and I would like that, and I don't have that. You know, objects of comparison, comparing yourself to others is like the worst thing that you can do right now, or the most difficult circumstance causing thing to do right now. Anyway, I want to go ahead and look at this from the week to week and see what else is coming forward for you guys. In the first week, you guys have Page of Pentacles rooted down by Ace of Pentacles. So this is where the financial thing happens. You can actually get a lot in the first week of July. Again, for the Sages who have been putting in the consistent effort, you can get the promotion or the bonus or the almost unexpected income here. Also, it seems like there could be somebody new coming into your life in the first week. It could be an earth sign type of person, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And you might actually meet this person through work or through what you do for a living, or not. But it seems like you're experiencing a new energy for sure. And throughout all of July, I feel this as well. It could be even like more than one person, but like the same person with like a different face each time, like the same type of person. I feel that you guys are kind of stuck in who you're attracting in. Like you feel like you keep attracting in the same person, even though they're like different people. You know what I mean? Every person keeps kind of giving you a similar feeling or a similar circumstance. And in the first week, I feel that you can understand something about that through your career or through the way that you're making money. And maybe, you know, again, having that sort of unconscious healing through symbolism that I talk about. Allow yourself to heal all of this, because if you're attracting in the same person with different faces, basically it's a sign that you are needing to prolong some kind of difficult circumstance for yourself because you feel that you haven't learned from it yet. You feel that you haven't drawn a conclusion. And July is going to be a good time to draw the conclusion, Sag. It's going to be a good time to kind of put that out of its misery, to kind of stop holding it over your head and to draw the conclusion for what it is now, because that's what's keeping these same types of people around you. In the second week, you guys have Two of Pentacles rooted down by Ten of Cups. So I do feel like it's kind of difficult to balance the family life with everything else that you're doing. I actually feel that you might have a lot of family responsibility during this time, or responsibility with loved ones. You are probably going to be very booked in the second week. You might have a lot of work to do and a lot of responsibility with your home or your family, and you're just going to, I feel, be busy a lot during the second week. But it's okay, because you kind of need to be busy during this time. You might feel that it would be best to just kind of like be in bed or to be resting or to be doing what you feel like you need to do. But believe it or not, that can actually be equally as exhausting to you right now. So it's good to keep busy, actually. So that's good. I'm kind of proud to see Two of Pentacles in that case. You can also just enjoy your work too in the second week. It feels like you have some kind of happy ending coming. You might be about to stop a job or about to have a huge change. So you're kind of enjoying this reality while it's still lasting, because it's like after July, something big changes for you. And you're just kind of taking the time right now to understand that the experience is still happening. And you're just kind of like taking it in because you know change is coming in the near future. So that's quite a nice place to see you, actually. I kind of like that for you, where you know that a change is coming and you're not dreading it, and you're not, you know, being overly nostalgic about what's about to end, but you're just kind of there. It's a nice energy for you in the second week. In the third week, you guys have Seven of Swords rooted down by Page of Cups reversed. I feel like this is the only week where there's room for a lot of issue or challenge or problem, because it seems like you're easily taken advantage of in the third week. And it's that emotional center that you're developing now that is the way that people take advantage of you, because people haven't seen this side of you before. And it's so new to you that you don't really understand how it communicates or how it comes off. So I feel that if people can tell you that they're in a difficult place or that they're having a difficult emotional experience, then you will like do anything for them, because you associate it with your version of difficult emotional experience, which is a lot more than some other people's. So in that way, I feel like people can easily manipulate you in the third week, so watch out for that. Make sure that you are employing a logical understanding of the situation and not just using this new emotional compass that you have, because people, especially like water signs, can really come in and work with that because they've been kind of born with that and have been working with it for so many years. So they see it forming in you, and if their intentions aren't pure, they can, you know, make you do that extra shift or make you get that overtime. And then they're not really as hurt as they say they are. Also for relationships, I feel that some of you might be dealing with cheating or infidelity, and it's like you already know about it, you know. I hesitate to say that sometimes on my channel because I don't want people who are in relationships who don't suspect that at all be like, oh my God, am I being cheated on? No, but if you know it, you know it. It's happening, and you're kind of understanding how you have to deal with that. You've got to kind of get your heart off your sleeve and kind of be less emotional, because Page of Cups is reversed. So it's like being over emotional or judging this emotionally. prolongs this difficult experience, so do be aware of that. In the 4th week, you guys have 9 of Pentacles reversed. You're down by King of Swords reversed. You know, you kind of get a platform. You kind of come to a culmination here, because I do feel like there's a huge change, you know, having Judgment as your central theme in July. So I think everything's normal in July itself, and you're doing this normal experience, but you know that after July, something really big changes for you. So you're kind of here, you're kind of at the apex of this experience that you've had for a really long time, at the depth of the Saturn retrograde, and you kind of feel like, I want for this to feel like more than it feels like to me. Because, you know, 9 of Pentacles is about, you know, creating that experience. It's about kind of a lavish, even if it's not like materially lavish, but whether it be material or emotionally, very statured and lavish experience where you're sort of this character and you're sort of this energy that is something different than anybody has seen before. It's like you want to be in that role in the 4th week, but there's something about where you're going that prevents you from really attaining that, as it is reversed. So it's like you maybe finally get what you wanted, or you finally, you know, get the ending or the culmination that you've been really building up for such a long time now, and you're kind of like, okay, it's here, it's done, let's move forward, let's move on. And I feel that that can be kind of sad for you because you expected it to be more fulfilling than it was. But your key, again, is to not get stuck there. Again, don't let yourself be the object of comparison, comparing yourself to other people who have achieved what you've achieved, or to other people who you feel were in the same place. Nobody's really been in the place that you are right now, Sag, with Saturn there, and just the way that the planets are in general right now, with Neptune hitting you, with Uranus hitting you, and nobody has really been here. So the comparisons are invalid regardless, even if it feels exactly the same. And with King of Swords reversed, rooting that down, it's like, through the emotional experience that you have in the 3rd week, you kind of turn that off, it seems to me. And now you're trying to judge this situation with your logical capacity. And I feel like you just need to switch it. It's like in the 3rd week, you need the King of Swords energy, and in the 4th week, you need the Page of Cups energy. Like, just switch that around. When you have this sort of cheating or infidelity or being taken advantage of in the workplace potential, use the King of Swords logical capacity to dissect it all, analyze it all, and fix it. And that will be perfect. And then once you find yourself in the 4th week in this culmination or this ending part, rather than trying to dissect that and trying to understand everything and like pros and cons of everything, you need to just have that emotional understanding for yourself and sort of make space for yourself and sort of breathe and wear your heart on your sleeve, you know? And understand that you are kind of this amazing, eccentric being experiencing something that humanity doesn't yet know. And you're kind of paving the way for humanity. And what you've done in the last year, really, but especially in the last 3 months, since May, well, honestly, even since like March and April, what you've been doing during that time, even though it might feel very insignificant, has been something that was very much a turning point for the rest of your life and the rest of your experience, and potentially even the rest of humanity. So always be remembering that, and maybe not comparing that to other people's experience, you know, other people's experience of changing humanity or whatever you think that that might be. Because, you know, you've got Judgment as your central theme. It is a complete evolution, even though it doesn't feel like it. There's something about Saturn retrograde in Sag where it, you know, changing or transforming or evolving does not feel like it has in the past. And I would love to see you guys kind of exploding out of any kind of potential burnout phase. I would love to see you guys reacting to unexpected circumstances or like gloomy circumstances with something that's really eccentric and vivacious and eccentric. Just something like, I want to see you guys creating a space where you're kind of something that you've never been before, and that's really exciting for you, and where you're not being an object of comparison and you're not being weighed down by something that you feel is really existential, fatalistic, and unchangeable. I really feel like that's your challenge right now, is to create eccentricity and beauty out of things which seem, you know, unchangeable and, you know, undoable, okay? And past that, I feel like July can be quite decent for you. It's going to be a little bit, I would like to use the word exciting, but if you want to use, you know, stagnant or unexpected or, again, existential fatalistic, it can be those things. But it's really all about how you compare yourself and how you react to your own actions and experiences. So it's really up to you, Sag, how July goes for you. You'll have another peak again in August, and I really feel that around September, you guys are going to be getting back into the groove and back into, you know, action mode. But it's fine to do that here as well. Again, really, sky's the limit for you in a way, if you can be measured, expected, organized, and consistent with yourself. Much love to you guys. If you would like to book a private reading with me, you can click the center of your screen right now. Also, I've put in the last 2 months of videos here, so you can check that out if you want to reflect. I so appreciate your subscribes, likes, and comments. I love you guys so much, and good luck during the Saturn retrograde. Bye.